This is the Halftime Show with Omar Adori on Pulse 95.
It sure is that time. It's the Halftime Show with Omar Adori. I am your host, cover everything sport, international and local. Shout out to everyone who's tuned in around the world, whether it's 95 FM, Pulse95radio.com, our app, Sharjah Broadcasting Authority, or if you're chilling at home watching us live on YouTube. Boy, do I have a show in store for you today. I'm so excited to have this next guest on because it's going to be a killer show. Reem Hameed is on the show today. She's an athlete, entrepreneur, MC, speaker, to name a few, and she's on the show today. Yes, I promised you I was going to spoil you, and I'm going to do exactly that. She's inspired many Arabs around the region to follow their dreams. By the way, did I mention lawyer as well? Hey, if you want to know more about that, we're going to be talking about that across the show, and also talking to her about how she resets, how she gets set, and much, much more. Stay tuned for more on the only place to be at 3, the Halftime Show on Pulse 95.
This is the Halftime Show with Omar Adori on Pulse 95.
It sure is that time. It's the Halftime Show with Omar Adori. I'm your host, cover everything sport, international and local. Shout out to everyone who's tuned in. Super, super excited to have this guest on the show. Reem Hameed, welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me. I was recording.
What a start. What an introduction. Reem, thank you for coming down. I know you're super, super busy. It's a pleasure to have you on the show. I'm very interested to know a lot more, and I'm sure the listeners are too. Talk to me about your roots.
My roots. Okay. So at the heart of it, my mom is Filipino, my dad is Iraqi, and I grew up in Canada, and I have moved all over the world. And the truth about it is that I no longer seek home. Home is where my feet are planted.
Right.
And I think this entire journey, a lot of us are third culture kids, especially living in the UAE.
Yeah.
And so when I talk about my roots, I talk about the roots that I have today connected to the roots that I belong to. And I think all of us do that.
Do you get asked that a lot? Where's home?
Absolutely. And I get a lot of where are you from?
Yeah.
And where are you from is a very loaded, charged question, especially for Iraqis, because a lot of us are a part of a huge diaspora, right? So, our roots are where your 2 feet are planted. And it gives me, and I hope it gives people the intention to grow roots here now.
How important is it to stay connected to your roots?
Well, it's extremely important, but it is a challenging journey to do that, to really own the fact that maybe where you're living isn't where you're going to be or where you're technically from. And the reason that I seek my roots in so many ways is because I don't know who I'm going to be without knowing where I come from. But for a lot of women, our identities are constantly challenged. And so what it's important for me to find out what my roots are, just so I have a single thread. And what I do with that is my own creativity and the way I design my life.
Absolutely. It's an interesting time, obviously, to be a woman right now, and you've kind of seen the change and the evolution of it. Have you had to evolve yourself to be under this current time we're in now?
I think that this is the most remarkable time to be a woman. We have never been more connected. There has never been more information. There has never been more conversation around what it means to stand in your power. I am proud to be a woman right now. However, the journey still continues. We have so much to do. And not only have I believe that the Arab world is in a renaissance of some sort. Like I'm watching the boardrooms that I'm in, the projects that I'm working on. More women are at the table we're building tables now. We're not asking for seats at your table. We're building tables now. And I'm so proud to see it.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's also something that you've got to do quite frequently, is to stay up to date with what's happening, when it's happening, how it's happening. Do you find that sometimes overwhelming, underwhelming? How do you find that?
Extremely overwhelming. I find it overwhelming because I believe that most of us want to leave a mark on the world. I believe people want to feel, myself included, want to feel like we have an impact. And in order to do so, we feel like we need to be informed about everything. And there is an onslaught of information. The counterpoint to what I'd said earlier, right? And one of the things that I've taken on as part of my practice in life is If you're going to diet, eat well, you're going to exercise, you need to clean your content diet. What you consume is equally what you put in your feeds, in your streams, in your mind. It's equally important if you're going to be healthy.
It's interesting you say that, because what is healthy?
Healthy. The word is constantly being defined and redefined in my life. But where I am today at 39, after everything that I've been through, healthy for me is a balance in my spirit, a balance in my relationship with the world. Can I make deep connections quickly with the people around me? And most importantly, am I agile? Am I mobile? And can I wake up early and be excited about the day? These things mark health for me.
Tick.
You know?
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. The other key word you said there was practice.
Yes.
And I noticed, I did my research, I listened to a lot of the stuff you were doing and saying, and you use that word a lot.
Yes.
How often do you have to practice to have the right balance?
So the word practice for me is the work. This is actually what's important. The goals that we set are almost arbitrary sometimes. The practice is actually what matters. And the answer to that is, how often do you practice? Every single day. Every single day. And if you cannot do it every single day, then you need to pull back the reins and figure out how it can be done every single day. That's just how I believe it's been good for me to operate, you know?
And is recovery a form of practice?
100%. And I learned that actually your book had a whole chapter, a whole entire chapter on recovery. I struggle with recovery. And I think a lot of people who, I have ADHD, so I struggle with recovery because my mind overthinks. So I believe you mentioned in your book, it resonated with me when you said that some people don't get a full 8 hours because their mind is constantly going. I was like, absolutely, that's me. The truth of it is that recovery is equally important to lifting heavy. If you're gonna, and in your mind, in your body, in your spirit, if you're gonna do that, there needs to be recovery. It is that offset. It is that balance.
I like that. Which domino did you feel like you were the strongest at, and which domino do you feel like you need the most work at?
Recovery. I need the most work at. Please, recovery.
Yeah.
But so the strongest. So here's the thing, and I'm going to be really candid. I am very critical of myself, so I don't actually. Every time a domino appeared, I would sort of go back and forth between any one of them. So the reality of it is that at any given time in my life, there isn't one that I feel I'm strong at, and I'm constantly recalibrating.
I like that.
And a lot of us are.
Yeah.
The athletes that I surround myself with, we're constantly recalibrating.
Yeah, amazing.
Yeah.
Guys, I told you, we're just getting warm here. We're going to take a quick break. We'll play you some Tupac changes, and we'll be right back after this. Don't go anywhere, folks.
This is the Halftime Show with Omar Adori on Pulse 95.
It sure is that time, and it's that right time on the Halftime Show on Pulse 95 Radio in the heart of Sharjah. And if you're even lucky and spoilt to be hearing what's happening between these segments offline on the Instagram Live, then you know we are definitely spoiling you today. We were talking ice baths, we were talking breath work, and that's just us warming up, because if you are just tuning in, you can catch all of our episodes on Apple, Spotify, SoundCloud, or head over to our YouTube channel, Pulse 95 Radio. We have some fantastic guests covering some incredible topics like mental health, gut health, and how important the brain is on performance and recovery. And this next guest is no different. I was just about to say, Auntie Reem, welcome back to the show.
Thank you very much.
Even when I met her only a couple months ago, I mean, I knew of her, but I met her and I went, Auntie Reem! Just gave her a big hug.
It's the greatest,
You get that a lot?
I get it a lot, and I want that a lot. I want more of it. That's the only thing I want.
It just fits. It suits you.
Doesn't it?
Yeah. It does fit, and it does suit you. And one thing I wanted to talk about is, amongst the amazing things you do, and there's a lot of things, we haven't got all day to explain and go through every single thing, is the athlete side of you. We spoke offline a little bit about you traveling and seeing the world and going to camps and being with different, styles. But Reem, the athlete, really fascinates me because you are literally a walking billboard for reset. You just don't know it. I'm trying to recruit her here.
Sign me up.
Yeah.
Here we go.
How do you reset?
Okay. How do I reset? So If I may, I'll tell a quick story.
Please
because
do, yeah.
my journey to become this athlete today actually began about a year ago. I went for what was a normal checkup at the gynecologist, and it turned out that I had abnormal cells, and they were rapidly moving towards what were going to become cancer cells.
Yeah.
So I not only caught them super early, I was so grateful. But it set my life on a trajectory of, so sometimes the most traumatic moments create a reset for you. And I always believe that those darkest moments are when it's darkest before the dawn, right?
Yeah.
So what that started my journey of really resetting every single pillar of my life that I genuinely believed, okay, I need to figure this out because I want to be here. I want to be here for a long time. I want to be here for a good time, and I deserve that.
Yeah.
So how do I reset? The first thing is, obviously, I curate the people around me. That seems to be, it seems silly, but no, it's not. The people that I spend my days with are people that I love, that genuinely care for me, but also that they're fighting. They're fighting every day, and I want to see that. The second thing is, like I mentioned earlier, I struggle with recovery. So I put a lot of effort into figuring out, and I'm still working on it. I'm like a science lab for recovery. I try different things all the time, and I measure them. I use apps. If I can measure anything, I measure it. And then, let's face it, good food, good company, that helps reset, me at the end of the day. And now I'm on a quest to understand dopamine.
Okay.
So I've learned that for me, and this isn't for everyone, when I'm on my feeds, TikTok, Instagram, I'm seeing people, and when I see people, my dopamine levels shoot up. What does that mean? When I see them in real life, I'm a bit depleted. So I'm trying now to level out, pull everything back, and when I see people, to make deeper connections, I try to see them in the moment that they're with me.
Right.
And that's a really interesting and challenging journey. But that's the reset. The athletic reset is the usual. Recovery, you have to try and stop. Don't just go. Don't just go forever. You need to stop. And ice baths have been my new fave.
All right. Now let's tackle that then. All right. So what's your thought on ice baths, ice versus heat, ice and heat, Wim Hof, breath work? Talk to me.
Okay, so just as a caveat or a note, I am a consumer of all these products. I do not teach any of it but even though I delve deep into it, I am definitely somebody who is using it as a practice in my life.
Right.
And heat for me, we've worked out together in the blazing heat outside.
Yeah.
I love it.
Right.
I love heat. I'm heat inclined.
Okay.
So the cold for me is the ultimate challenge. And when we do a recovery session, which includes Wim Hof breathing and ice baths, the way my dopamine levels stay up for hours afterwards is fascinating to me. I feel it. I feel the sense of recovery that's happening internally. What does that mean? It means I'm trying to figure it out like the rest of us, but it means that now in the UAE, we're starting to have recovery conversations in a much deeper way in the athletic community. Yeah. And we're making them a huge part of how we practice, because I think before we weren't really, I saw many athletes just gunning it all day, nonstop. And I don't think that that's what I wanted for my life. Right.
Is that sustainable even?
To gun it forever?
Yeah.
Absolutely not.
Thank you.
Not only do you burn out, but it's let's take it to a deeper level.
Yeah.
There is a moment when you stop listening to yourself and you're now gritting through to the end goal. The goal at the end is always yourself. It is not whatever marker you've set. The marker you set is arbitrary.
Right.
How you get there, that's what you need to care for.
Yeah.
And when we're gritting and just barreling through, tearing through body parts that we should be caring for, I just don't see that being sustainable. And the mental health journey that it takes you to recover, I don't even wanna. I worry about that. So
I keep thinking you're looking at my notes because you be reading everything. She's the perfect segue. OT, I'm telling you, man. I keep looking at my screen and there's no reflection. It's probably off my head.
No, not at all. Not at all.
What is mental fitness?
Mental fitness. So when I'm entering a phase of my life, so I'm 39, so I've been an athlete for most of my life.
Yeah.
And mental fitness for me is now the knowledge of when to care for myself, when to stop as an athlete, but also to when to push myself beyond the boundaries so that I can, I can perform. I have now known that mental fitness also means I have to humble myself to find a coach, to humble myself to know this isn't right for me, and also place myself in extreme discomfort 3 times a week, Monday, Wednesday, Friday, from 8:30 to 10.
8:30 a.m. You know where to catch her.
8:30 a.m. If you see me with my coach, it is uncomfortable. I do not like the actual sport, but I kickbox and but my coach is unbelievable, and he's done a really great job of like pushing me in discomfort, but recognizing. So there's a place of humility that we have to sit together in.
Can we give him a shout out?
Coach Sina Akbari, Global Star Fitness on Instagram. He is amazing, and he also runs Energy Camp, a wonderful group of people. They do recovery sessions on Saturdays as well. Check it out. I mean, he's my coach, though, not your coach.
Yeah,
so.
I know. Sorry. I mean, I'll just give him a shot. Something else you said, which makes me think is, do you have to have conversations with yourself in order for you to endure mental fitness?
Yes.
What kind of conversations?
So hypocritically loving conversations, but I am struggling with having loving conversations with myself because the athletic arena that I was raised in, especially women who have danced, been in cheerleading, you guys know what I'm talking about. We are taught to just go, don't stop. I competed with a broken toe. Like those things are not great for you, and they build a conversation with yourself that is really harsh. I am trying to be a better athlete by saying, who are we today and how are we going to figure this out? And I look around me at the athletes that I surround myself with now, and they have better conversations with themselves than I've ever had. But if I were to recommend a path less painful and a path a path more successful, it is one where you look at yourself like somebody that you love. How are we going to get you to where you want to be? And that's a work in progress for me. I got to be honest about it.
God, she's good, isn't she? She's very good. All right, okay, cool. You know what? All this good stuff, we're going to take a quick break, and when we get back, we're going to put her through the fire round.
Yeah.
What's that? Okay, that's going to happen right after this. Don't go anywhere, folks. See you in a bit.
This is the Halftime Show with Omar Adori on Pulse 95.
It sure is that time. And what a time to be alive here on the Halftime Show on Pulse 95 Radio. Thank you very much for joining in. Right. It's that time.
What?
It is that time.
What?
It sure is. It's the fire round.
Yeah.
Oh man, I knew you were going to say it exactly like that. And I'm so gassed to have this next guest on the show. Reem Hameed is here, and we are asking her everything. Life, fitness, health. And right now, she is going to be put through the fire round.
Another one.
All right, here we go. Reem, you ready?
I'm ready.
All right, so I'm going to throw a bunch of things your way. You don't have to answer them in one word. You can answer them how you like.
Okay.
But we got a few things because it's you. And we want to pick your brain on so many things. So I'm going to throw them your way. You let me know how you feel.
Here we go.
All right, let's switch up the music a little bit. Put a bit of Stormzy. Yeah. All right, here we go. First one is Iraq.
Home, not home.
Mental fitness.
The only thing that matters if you want performance.
Okay. The quote, I love you, but I'll be back.
I love you, but I'll be back is the heart of what we do at Dukkan. Is we go into communities, we find out what matters to people, and we put it in data, and then we say, I love you, I'll be back, I'll make it better.
I like it. Dukkan.
The biggest joy of my life with regards to my career has been Dukkan.
Amazing. Canada
shaped this voice. Everything I stand on, everything I stand for, Canada taught me how to funnel it and then make it a part of a community.
The last album you bought.
The last album I bought, like as in album.
You see how she does this?
This is how, ladies
I know
and
she's
gentlemen.
old school.
The last album I bought. Wait a second.
Go on.
Purple Rain.
Oh.
It was in a crate. We were like in Toronto, and I saw Purple Rain, and I bought it.
Wow. Okay. Sharing a table with 3 people, dead or alive.
My mom is always at my table.
100.
100%. Wow, this is a tough one. Maya Angelou.
Okay.
100%.
Okay.
And to be honest with you, my grandfather. Yeah.
Amazing. I like that one. To life coach or to coach life?
To coach life, 100%.
I like that. How important is it to have a mental health day?
Very, very important. It's also important to know how to. Because some days I struggle. I take a mental health day and all I do is think about the things I want to do.
Okay. Akawi.
Akawi,
I knew it would start that way.
Akawi's laughter is healing. Akawi brings laughter. That is healing. There is nobody more tenacious and has more drive than Muhammad Akawi.
I like that. I like procrastination.
The bane of my existence, and a tool. Once you start procrastinating, it is a symptom. It is a tool. And I think when I step outside of it, I say why, and then I readjust. But truth is, it's equally a part of work and life nowadays.
Okay, veganism.
I tried it and it's not for me. However, I understand, I believe that it is great for most people.
Like that. How do you disconnect?
I don't, and I struggle with that. So I try to, and my partners and I, Oti and Akawi, we went to Thailand recently trying to disconnect. Terrible job. So this is how I disconnect. Monday, Wednesday, Fridays, 2 hours of complete discomfort at a sport that I'm not good at.
8:30 a.m.
8:30 a.m. You know where to find me.
Yep. How do you practice gratitude?
Every single day. Gratitude, the moment I wake up, I pray. And in the moments like right now, where I get to be with my friends, I say thank you somewhere in my head. And when things get extra negative in a conversation, I believe that amongst our friends, we sit down and we say, let's pray about it, or let's hang out, let's just stop this. We have all of these great things.
I like that.
If you have a post-secondary education, you're in the top 12% of the world. That alone should give us some gratitude,
If it was perfect, what would it look like?
It never will be. And so I don't believe it will be. So, and I sit comfortably in that perfection.
Are you a fan of Tim Ferriss?
I am a fan of Tim Ferriss, yes.
Okay. Why did a chicken cross the road?
Always to get to the other side, probably a little lost, probably a little hungry.
Favorite cartoon?
Favorite cartoon is, wow, there are so many of them. This is gonna date Pinky and the Brain.
For real?
Yeah, Pinky and the Brain.
Did you know that was coming, Oti?
No,
Nah,
every night they plan to take over the world, and that's basically what we do every day. Come on. Every day it's like, what are we gonna do? Try to take over the world, and that's what they do.
If you had one actor play you, who would it be?
Oh, one actress. Oh, that's a tough. Viola Davis, please. Please. She is remarkable.
Okay. Lewis House School of Greatness.
Okay. Been a fan since almost day one, round one. I've watched him grow not only a network but a philosophy.
Right.
Through recovery.
Yeah.
And when people share their entire lives online,
the
breakup, the heartache, the volleyball, all of that, I'm in. I'm here with you.
I like that. Okay. Gut health.
Oh, seemingly innocuous, suddenly the center of everybody's world. It is. If longevity, if you're concerned about being around for longer and having a great health span, not lifespan, gut health is something you should have as a pillar in your life.
Fight or flight?
Wow, always fight, but sometimes you should be flighting away.
Okay. Good answer.
Yeah.
Good answer. I mean, this one's my friend as well, OT.
Yeah.
Give me something on OT.
OT, from the moment OT has recovered from his second kidney transplant, our lives have never been the same because OT is driven. He has vision. Yeah. He's the godfather of podcasting in the region, but most importantly, he's my best friend who I sit next to almost every day. Yeah. And I watch us grow together as a team.
Pretty cool guy.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like him too. You think he's in the room? Favorite book?
Favorite book. I don't have one, but at the moment I'm reading. Well, actually, you know what? Favorite book of all time? There isn't one. But I'm reading a book about dopamine at the moment. and it's changing the way I see the world. So I'm on to that one.
All right.
Yeah.
Watch out for the remix. We might have her on talking about that soon. One thing that the listeners may not know about Auntie Reem.
About Auntie Reem, I feel like I live a pretty candid life, but one moment. Give me a minute. Okay. One thing we may not know about Auntie Reem, I am an extrovert completely, but I get so drained that I actually I go the opposite way. So while most people see me as always being outgoing, there is a Reem somewhere that literally just hides and cries all the sadness out and then comes back to the real world.
It's a good reset.
Yeah, that's a reset, if you will.
I like that. One guest you would like to interview?
One guest I would love to interview. Wow. Can I interview you on our show? We haven't had you on our show yet.
Stop it.
Yeah, Amar Duri.
I was thinking she'd say like, you know.
I'm going to go with Amar Duri, and I'll tell you why. Because I think there's a universe in you that nobody's heard of, even though you're here all the time. I feel it rumbling beneath the surface, and I'm going to get it out of you.
Probably something we can't do on radio, but yeah, we'll do that.
Hey, let's
do
do
that
it.
on your podcast.
Let's do it.
That's my commitment. Wim Hof.
Wim Hof, as I mentioned before, Wim Hof brings me to a place of extreme vulnerability. However, my performance as an athlete has definitely been better since I started Wim Hof. And Wim Hof helps calibrate your central nervous system. So as somebody with anxiety or if you have ADHD, it is a tool you can use to get right back to center.
If you want to go back to early Auntie Reem, before she was an auntie,
pre-Auntie Reem,
what would you advise her?
What would I advise her? Don't be so nervous. Trust, because everything was always going to be okay.
Yeah. Leadership.
Leadership. The greatest leaders, the leader I want to be, and the leaders that I surround myself with, lead from the back of the pack. So they empower and they empower and they empower. And before you know it, their teams are so powerful. It actually doesn't matter who they are.
Love that.
Yeah.
Love that.
Humility in a leader is everything to me.
Your beautiful mother.
My mother is my mother is an angel to me, but my mother also is the most resilient woman I've ever met and the most beautiful woman I've ever met. So how lucky am I? Amar Duri, I'm the luckiest girl in the world.
There you go. You had it. That's an exclusive.
Yeah, an exclusive here.
And you know what? She survived, man. I have to say, she did great, man. She was too cool, though, man. I tried to throw everything. I threw a Akawi to make her laugh. I threw gut health. I did everything, and she was pretty chilled. But well done. You have survived.
Thank you. Thank you.
You have survived the fire round. We're going to take a quick break, play some Anise, Sun and Moon, and we'll be right back.
This is the Halftime Show with Omar Adori on Pulse 95.
It sure is that time. And we are back and live on Pulse 95 Radio. Man, what a great show it's been so far, and I'm so happy to have Reem Hameed here on the show. We've spoken a lot about a lot of things, and you know what? I'm not even going to give you the spoilers. If you're like Masood and just joined in, yes, I'm calling you out, bruh. Late from India. At least you tune in every show, so we will let you off this time. You can catch all the shows on Spotify, Apple, on a podcast, or Pulse 95 Radio YouTube channel. All of our guests are on there live, and it's great to have this guest on the show. Reem, you've been an absolute superstar, but we knew that already, right?
I mean, I'm critical about myself, but I loved being here.
OT is nodding his head, so we knew that, OT. Me and you share the same name for a reason, bro. I have to actually, I want to actually get OT on. I never said I was going to do this, but OT, can you come next to the mic?
Oh.
That's all right. This is live. How you doing?
That's all right. I'm here.
OT, what do you think about how Reem did today?
How she did?
Yeah.
I mean, as I was saying offline, I mean, Reem's like front and center teacher's pet type student, so she's always gonna outperform everybody.
Wow.
Yeah.
And then wonders how she did it.
I said nice things about you in the fire round. In the fire round,
It
I
was
said
lovely,
really
but
nice
I
things
also have
about
to be
you.
honest because it's on my show.
Yeah. Because you actually gave me an insight, and you told me that she actually checked in on the show, made sure she knew what she was doing.
Yeah.
That's why it was flawless, because she did her homework.
Yeah. She came in ready, but as I said, like she's an A student.
Yeah.
With everything all the time.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
It's expected at this point.
I just like to defend myself. Why do I
what?
feel the need to defend myself?
We're talking all good stuff about you, Reem. Actually, one thing I wanted to ask you, I know it's almost full time on the halftime show, but I want to ask you, what some people, obviously the people that know that you know you were a law student, you
Yeah.
graduated, you did all that stuff. But what made you turn your back on that after doing all that to do what you're doing now?
So what I do now is I'm a cultural consultant, and I work at Dukkan, where we actually craft what is the region's voice in the Arab world with regards to the Arab digital generation, so online.
Yeah.
And the way that I don't think I ever turned my back on the law.
Right.
I just, I'd finished law school, and I looked at the industry, and I looked at my future, and I said, I don't believe this fight is for me. I could not see my heroes. I had entered the law with the intention of being a voice.
Yeah.
And if you notice, almost everything I do in my life is about having a voice or giving a voice. And I just couldn't see it for some reason. And I had to honor myself. I had to sit and really, and you know this, Omar, you can't, it's really hard to tell your family, like your Iraqi family and your Filipino family, like, I'm not doing this, but I did that because I had to honor who I am.
And you do a lot of amazing things with OT, with Hakawi. Can you tell us more about the podcast you're doing, where we can follow you guys? Tell me more about that.
Okay, so the Dukkan Media Podcast Network, its flagship show is the Dukkan Show, which is the longest running society and culture podcast in the region, and it features the three of us talking about our lives. But the network also has other shods, which is Forever Student, which is a remarkable show that's run by Stefan, and he brings the most remarkable guests on, and they talk about optimal performance, living a best life, and being a great student of life.
Yes.
Legal-ish, where you can ask any legal question and our lawyer will answer the question anonymously. You can ask your questions. And Leap of Hope, which is a remarkable show featuring Amal Murad, who is a great athlete. And what she talks about are things that I struggle with too. What the world is like for female athletes and women growing up in the Arab world at the moment. So as you can see, the work we do is we hopefully will show you that Arabs like us are not represented on the global sphere. You don't see women like me represented. And so what Dukkan's purpose is to use qualitative and quantitative analysis to drive forward voices like ours into the world, from the Middle East to the world.
And what I love about what you guys do, and I have to say this unbiasedly, and all the names you mentioned, by the way, I love because I've had them on the show.
Yes, I know.
OT, something I love about you guys, and it's a flavor, man. It's a specific type of flavor that is very unique, combining all these cultures and tradition and feeling and emotional intelligence on your podcast. You'll get the suits and then you'll get the sneakers. You'll get the flavors of all these different things. How long has it taken you guys to perfect this model that's imperfectly perfect?
I think that's the whole thing about the model.
Yeah.
It's forever going to be imperfectly perfect.
Yeah.
Because it's a gut feeling sometimes that I can't explain.
Yeah.
You know, our cat would walk in one day, but like, I want to talk to this person. Like, all right, great, let's bring him on the show. Or Reem would have the same comment or reaction, or sometimes I would too.
Yeah.
And we just, for the most part, we choose a lot of our guests because we know them and we know they're going to bring on some special to the show.
Yeah.
So it was never about like a social media following number or a status. And we, till date, we get emails of people wanting to book CEOs or personalities on our shows. And we're like, but I don't know them. So we don't know them like that.
It's deeper than that too. For us, when we had Her Excellency Noor Al-Kaabi on the show, she said one thing. The question that we have to drive us into the future of, the creative economy is, who are we?
Yeah.
What do we stand for?
Yeah.
And so when you say it's a flavor, that flavor is us honoring who we are. This is who we are. We make suits, we wear kicks, and we love that. And we're not going to change that because somebody else told me I should not be wearing something. You know?
Yeah. I like that. So from Hakawi shorts to their sneakers, I do my homework too. We salute you here. It is full time. That was the full-time whistle, and thank you so much, guys, for coming on, man. It's been an absolute pleasure to have you on the show. We had some fun as well, and you guys were amazing. Thank you very much.
Thank you for having us. Thank you so much.
All right, guys, you can catch us every Monday, Wednesday, Saturday, 3 to 4 UAE time, and we will be back next time, same time, same place, on the only place to be at 3, the Halftime Show on Pulse 95. See you later.